One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. Most people do not really want freedom, because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive, and will come forth later, in uglier ways. We are never so defenseless against suffering, as when we love. Out of your vulnerabilities, will come your strength. Where does a thought go, when it's forgotten? A woman should soften, but not weaken a man. Everywhere I go, I find a poet, has been there before me. In the depths of my heart, I can't help being convinced that my dear fellow men, with a few exceptions, are worthless. Whoever loves becomes humble. Those who love have, so to speak, pawned a part of their narcissism. Immorality, no less than morality, has at all times found support in religion. The madman is a dreamer awake. No, our science is no illusion, but an illusion it would be to suppose that, what science cannot give us, we can get elsewhere. Religion is an illusion, and it derives its strength from the fact that it falls in with our instinctual desires. The virtuous man contents himself with dreaming, that which the wicked man does in actual life. He does not believe, that does not live according to his belief. The behavior of a human being in sexual matters is often a prototype for the whole of his other modes of reaction in life. Where the questions of religion are concerned, people are guilty of every possible kind of insincerity and intellectual misdemeanor. America is a mistake, a giant mistake. My love is something valuable to me, which I ought not to throw away, without reflection. The intention that man should be happy is not in the plan of creation. Men are more moral than they think, and far more immoral than they can imagine. Love and work are the cornerstones of our humanness. The creative writer does the same, as the child at play, he creates a world of fantasy, which he takes very seriously. The more the fruits of knowledge become accessible to men, the more widespread is the decline of religious belief. Loneliness and darkness have just robbed me of my valuables. Where ID is, there shall ego be. The interpretation of dreams is the royal road to a knowledge of the unconscious activities of the mind. How bold one gets when one is sure of being loved. The ego is not master in its own house. Neurosis is the inability to tolerate ambiguity. Men are strong, so long as they represent a strong idea, they become powerless when they oppose it. Public self is a conditioned construct of the inner psychological self. It is a predisposition of human nature, to consider an unpleasant idea untrue, and then it is easy to find arguments against it. Love in the form of longing and deprivation lowers the self-regard. You wanted to kill your father, in order to be your father yourself. Now you are your father, but a dead father. I had thought about cocaine, in a kind of daydream. The liberty of the individual is no gift of civilization. It was greatest before there was any civilization. The more perfect a person is on the outside, the more demons they have on the inside. America is the most grandiose experiment the world has seen, but I am afraid it is not going to be a success. Smoking is indispensable if one has nothing to kiss. Civilized society is perpetually menaced with disintegration through this primary hostility of men towards one another. Man has, as it were, become a kind of prosthetic god. Time spent with cats is never wasted. Where such men love, they have no desire, and where they desire, they cannot love. He who knows how to wait need make no concessions. It is impossible to overlook the extent to which civilization is built up upon a renunciation of instinct. I never want to belong to any club that would have someone like me as a member. Everyone owes nature a death. Dream is the dreamer's own psychical act. The unconscious of one human being can react upon that of another, without passing through the conscious. Nothing that is mentally our own can ever be lost. We are what we are, because we have been what we have been. If children could, if adults knew. Neurosis is no excuse for bad manners. The weakness of my position does not imply a strengthening of yours. When one does not have what one wants, one must want what one has. Places are often treated like persons. For there is a way back from imagination to reality, and that is art. Dreams are never concerned with trivia. The distortion of a text resembles a murder. The difficulty is not in perpetrating the deed, but in getting rid of its traces. Dreams are often most profound when they seem the most crazy. Human life should not be considered as the proper material for wild experiments. Those who have eyes to see and ears to hear will soon convince themselves that mortals cannot hide any secret. We choose not randomly each other. We meet only those who already exists in our subconscious. In the small matters, trust the mind, in the large ones, the heart. What progress we are making. In the Middle Ages, they would have burned me. Now they are content with burning my books. From error to error, one discovers the entire truth. The goal of life is death.